In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a rainbow loom Christmas tree bracelet. So what you'll need is one loom, and you want to have it set up in a rectangular shape so that all the pins are in line with one another. And you'll need 3 colors. You'll need a yellow or gold for the star, you'll need brown for the trunk, and you'll need whatever color you want the actual tree to be. I have a red and green tie-dyed band. So you can use green, red, white, whatever you think would look nice. So as you can see, I have moved the blue connector pieces out of the way. I moved them to the ends of the loom, so I have a space in the center where we'll be working. And we're going to be using the length of 5 pins, so you want to make sure that you have your connector pieces out of the way of at least 5 pins. So I'm going to start at the pin in the very center. So from the way I have my loom set up, I'm counting in 5 pins from the left. And I'm going to start with the trunk, which is brown. So what I want to do is I'm going to set my loom down, and I'm going to take a brown band, and I'm going to put it through my hook, and then I'm going to hold on to it and loop it a second time. So I'm doubling this band, and then I want to go to the pin that I'm going to start on in the center here. I'm going to put the band on, stretch it back, and twist. And that's going to be my bottom part of my tree. And then I want to take a second brown band and put that on top. And then I'm going to take a third brown band, you can push this down, and again put that on top. So now that I have the 3 bands on, it may look like you have 4 bands on because remember we doubled this bottom band. What I want to do is take my hook and start in the front, grab the bottom 2 bands since we doubled it, and pull it over the top, and flip to the back side again, grab the bottom 2 and pull them over the top, and then push that down. So that's going to be the trunk, and next we're going to start on the actual tree itself. So I have my bands, which like I said, I have the multicolored green and red band. And I'm going to count from the center. I'm going to count 2 spaces over. And this is where I want to start. So as you can see from the end, if you count from the end, we're going to the 3rd pin in from the end. Or if you're counting from the trunk of your tree, it's 2 pins over to the left. So you want to start here. You want to put your band on, and then stretch it up diagonally to the right and twist. Then you want to take your next band, and we're going to go from here down diagonally to the left and twist. Again, we're going to go from here up diagonally and twist. And then from here we're going to go back down diagonally and twist. And that's as far as we want to go. So we had started 2 pins over from the left from the trunk, and we're going to end 2 pins over from the right of the trunk. And now we're going to go to the top and work our way back down, diagonally zigzagging, crossing over the bands we just put on. Again, you want to twist all of this bottom layer. Now we're going from here back down diagonally to the left. And then finally we're going to go from here up diagonally to the left. So that's what the bottom layer of your tree will look like. And once you have that on, what you want to do is take these brown bands and you want to grab them from the bottom and you want to pull them both up over the top. That's going to connect the trunk onto the tree. And you want to do the same on the other side. Now we want to put a second layer of the bands on for the tree. So again, I'm going to start at the same spot. Just going to follow that same exact pattern. I'm going to zigzag my way up and down, going over top of everything that I've just done. And then I'm going to work my way back down, making an X shape. And you always want to keep pushing the bands down so you have room to add more. And then once you have 2 layers on, and as you can see, the end pins will have 2 bands on, whereas all of the center pins will have twice as many. They will have 4 bands on. So we're going to start at the far left, and since the end pin only has the 2 bands on, we're only going to remove 1. So you want to grab it from the bottom and pull it up and over the top. Now you want to go to the next pin up, and this time we want to remove 2 bands. So you take a first one and then a second. Go up to the next. Again, we want to remove 2. Go up above to the next one and remove 2. And now since I'm at the top and there's only 2 bands, again I want to just take off 1. Then you want to flip to the other side and work your way back down, just removing 1 from the end and then 2 from the centers. Then 2 from the next one down, and then 1 from the end. And you want to push all of this down. Now what we want to do for this next layer is we want our tree to get smaller. So instead of starting on this far left pin, we're going to move in 1 from the end. So I'm going to put that layer on next. In the same zigzag pattern, we're just going to work our way up and down. And I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to stop 1 short of the end. And then what I want to do is come back down, again in the zigzag pattern. And then once I've done that, I'm going to push that down. Once I've done that, I want to move the bands from these 2 end pins in 1. So I'm going to take this bottom left band and I want to get it on my hook, leave it on, and put it up and diagonally to the right and put it on that pin. And then I'm going to take the top band, get that on my hook, and put that down and diagonally to the right and put it right on the top of that pin. Then I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing. I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm going to get the band on my hook. I'm going to move it up and diagonally. And then I'm going to take the top band and move that one down and diagonally. So now we've narrowed our tree, and what we want to do next is take the very bottom 2 bands off of each pin, since now each of the pins should have 4 bands on. So we want to take the bottom 2, pull it out and over the top, just going to work our way to the top. Again, taking 2 bands off of every pin this time. Flip to the other side. Again, remove the 2 bottom bands from every pin. And then you want to push all of this down. And then what you're going to do next is add another layer on top of these same 6 pins. We're going to be doing the same zigzag pattern up and down. And then work your way back. And now again we want to remove 2 from each of the bottom pins. This time there's going to be 3 bands on the ends, but we still want to remove 2. And then you want to work your way back down the other side. Again, removing 2 from each pin. And now what we want to do is add 1 more band in the very center, straight back. And we want the ends of the tree to once again come in. So I'm going to start at the bottom left, get the band on my hook and move it up diagonally to the right. Take the top band and move that down diagonally to the right. Push that down. I'm going to take the very bottom band and pull that over the top on both sides here, front and back. Now I'm going to take this other side of the tree, take the bottom right and move it up and diagonal to the left, and then do the same thing for the other band. Push that down. And again, I want to take the bottom band. This time I have 4 bands on the pin, so I'm going to take the bottom 2 bands and pull them over the top and go to the other side and do the same thing. Take the bottom 2, you can push that down. And now I want to add the yellow bands for the star. So I'm actually going to put 2 bands on this time. I'm going to put 1 yellow and then a second yellow. And then I'm going to remove 2 bands from the bottom. And that is what the first tree will look like. But we want to keep adding more trees on top to make a bracelet. So we're going to be back to using brown. So I want to make sure that I have this all the way down. And you can see it's starting to come down through, but it's not quite. So I'm just going to let it go for now. I'm not going to pull it down. So I'm going to start the same process all over again. I'm going to take a brown band. I'm going to put it on my hook and double it. Wrap it around twice. And then put it on. I'm going to twist and put it on those same 2 pins. This is the end of part 1 of how to make a Rainbow Loom Christmas tree bracelet. Please continue to part 2 to learn how to finish your bracelet.